It says you are live. Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Welcome, everyone. It is a beautiful Tuesday. It is a glorious Tuesday. Black as night on the outside, but the light within is a beacon. Today is to test yourself. How does one test themselves? Well, we test ourselves by doing something. Doing what? Well, what you thought. That's what you do. You did something, you learned something. Now it is time. Did you understand it? Do you know how to apply it? This is all what testing is about. Well, not in today's school system, but I digress. You see, it is not about what one can regurgitate. It is about what one comprehends. What do you understand? You see, the process is simple. We have 7 principles, and we apply them in 3 steps. Oh, yes. You see, mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Everything we see and touch in our world first originated in our where? In our imaginations. We thought about it, we contemplated it, and we asked ourselves, I wonder what it would be like if I did ... That is what we did, that is what we do, and that is what we will continue to do, whether we are in these forms or not. So you see, one cannot escape the principles. Would you want to? Listen, the principles make things predictable. Predictable things bring comfort. Can you imagine if you got up today and eggs looked like eggs but were no longer eggs, but they were oranges? You'd probably have a freak out. They are predictable. Not predictable because one is lazy, but predictable because it is a pattern. Pants have a pattern. You know, pantalones, 2 legs, a left and a right. So anything you put on with a left and a right inside, and they're joined together, see their pants, their panties, huh? Their pantyhose. Listen, a pattern. A shirt, same thing. When you put on a shirt, whether it is sleeveless, giving you the right to bear arms, hope you get that. Whether your shirt is sleeveless or it's got long sleeves or your shirt has a turtleneck on it, it is a shirt. It is a pattern. So don't think that life does not have a pattern. Oh, but it does. And the pattern of life would be those 7 principles. Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. Well, everything moves. It is constantly moving from where? Between 2 poles. Which poles? Not opposites. Because remember, correspondence tells you as within, so without, because it can't be opposite. So you're moving from where you are as that thing to where you're going as that thing. Polarity. And you will either lean one way or you will lean the other. Why? Depends upon how it makes you feel. And when you are polarized, now there's a particular rhythm to where you are polarized. Meaning, oranges will bear oranges. So you're polarized as an orange. So if you're polarized and you're upset, well, you can only act according to what upset dictates. So you see, you're polarized and you can only ever be what you're polarized as. Because why? As within, so without. And that rhythm, yes, causes you to act as what you say you are. Why do you do it? Why does every cause have its effect and every effect its cause? Because it is who you say you are. Remember, mentalism all the way back there, yeah? So one does not escape those principles, but here's how we apply them in 3 steps. You know what you want, which is what mentalism. You must always know that you are. And then you get to decide what you want to be. And when you decide what you want to be, how does it polarize you? Oh, which will cause you to act how? the way you've polarized yourself. See, 3 simple steps. So to test yourself, what do you want to be in this moment? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Because when you decide what you want to do, who you want to be, what are you saying to yourself? You are saying, I am. Well, that is mentalism. And what you say you are, well, you've got to see the evidence, as within, so without. Oh, look who's here. But they are simple things. You test yourself until you get the desired result that you said who you were. You do not give up because, oh my God, it doesn't work. I got it wrong. No, you didn't get it wrong, honey. You are practicing. You're practicing. You think my mother can bake and make seasoning as great and phenomenal as she does because she got up and she just knew what to do? Nah, she had to practice to dice those things and get them just right. So she had to practice over and over. You see, we think practicing has to do with things on the physical, but you're not actually practicing physically. No, you're not. You're not practicing physically. The thing that you are doing physically is the thing that you have practiced mentally. As within, so without. As above, so below. One does not escape that. So what are you practicing telling yourself on a daily basis? You're putting it into practice every day, over and over and over. And you know what they tell you? You perfect what you practice. Well, of course. Every time you do it and you fall short a little bit, what do? Get up and come again. Do it again. Do it again. Until you can say, oh, I did it. I saw this video of this large woman, because that was the point. She was saying she was practicing her flips, like you would do the handstand and then you would curl backwards and do the flip. And she showed you how she practiced. And let me tell you, the falling was not pretty at all. I thought to myself, girl, my knees would have been hurting by now, but no. She showed you her falling over and over and over until you guessed it. When she did that flip for the first time without faltering, she was so excited she did a happy dance. But then what did she do? Got up and did it all over again. So you see, you do the same thing with your everyday life, whether it would be your relationships. How do you want your relationship to go? Maybe you don't have a relationship and you want one, but we're so caught up in the story of our lives. Eh? We are so caught up in the story of our lives that we keep telling that story without recognizing, because you keep telling the same story, you keep living the same life. Why? Because the story you keep telling is the pattern of your life. So, what do you practice to test yourself? You practice telling yourself a new story. Oh, but Angela, I feel kind of crazy when I do that. Oh, the judgments we cast. You feel crazy? Well, then pull a Patsy Cline. Crazy. Crazy for feeling. Pull a Patsy Cline and be as crazy as you want to be. But listen, which is more crazy? To look at your life and say, I want to change, but yet continually do the same thing? Or rehearse the new and experience the new? I don't know which one I would choose. Of course I do. So we test ourselves by first knowing what we want to accomplish. And you begin to see yourself having accomplished it. Well, what would it be like if you did accomplish it? Wouldn't you be thrilled? Wouldn't you be relieved? Wouldn't you be at peace? Oh, yes. So remove the trying and the struggling and go straight to the, it would make me feel like this. It would make me feel like this. And you ruminate about that feeling, and you sit in that feeling, and you marinate and percolate in that feeling. Just let it overtake you. Well, think about all the other feelings that are overtaking you and how you get to experience those. Well then, dare to do it. You know how we used to be as kids? Oh my God, I dare you. Well, that's how you test yourself. Dare yourself to believe that you can. It costs you nothing to do it. Nothing at all. But what it does do is open up the door for many an opportunity to present itself. And because you are paying attention, because you are wholly consumed with what that thing is that you say you are, well, you doubt me? The scripture tells us that God saw his work and he was pleased. He was pleased. So you be pleased. Be pleased about the effort, because the effort is mental. And then you get the people who come along and say, oh my God, why do you make things look so easy? Why do these things just like fall into your lap? They fall into your lap, quote unquote, the bunny ears. They fall into your lap because they have fallen into your mind, the fertile soil of your mind, and taken root. And all you are doing is reaping the benefits of the mental seeds that you have planted. Doesn't mean that you don't gotta go and do it and touch it. Of course, you get the opportunity. You have to now take advantage of the opportunity. So you're going to have to act it out. But the work initially comes in the mental realm. We get ideas. And, sometimes we say to ourselves, oh, shoot, I should have thought that out. Oh, yeah. Some ideas need to be thought out more than others. Trust me on that one. Oh, I know. Some things need to be thought out more than others. That's why you think it out. You flesh it out. You work out all the kinks in your mind's eye, which means you've done what? Measured twice, cut once, thereby not wasting materials. Nikola Tesla did it, allegedly. He thought about things, whatever machinery he was going to make, in his mind's eye, and he fired it up. He flipped the switch and it would sputter, and he goes, ooh, not quite what I want. Let me try again. So he turned it off in his mind's eye and he tinkered with it. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna do this here and put this here and that here, fire it up. And it would run a little better. He goes, ooh, I'm better, but let me get it perfect. And he would turn it off, and then he would tinker again. Okay, if I do this and do this and do this and do this, and he flipped it on and it would run. And now all that he has to do in the outside world is follow the pattern that he did within. And this is why. This is why we have as much technology as we do today. Because of his what? Pattern. And all we ever do today is think along his pattern. Nobody's thought about anything else. Because we're too busy. Not even that we're just too busy. It's that we think along a particular line, right? We think along a particular line. So if somebody was talking about capitalism yesterday, and if you think about it, because of capitalism, we are usually thinking along the lines of money, 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 money. That's where we're thinking of, because that is what capitalism is. It is I'm going to get it. I'm going to get that bag. So your thoughts now follow the pattern of getting the bag. Your creativity flows with getting the bag. How can I get the bag is the question we always ask. And so because we're only asking that question, well, It presents itself in the answer and we take advantage of it. This is why when you hear people ask, why do you have to charge money for spiritual lessons? Shouldn't that be free? Well, I'm going to tell you how it is. When my landlord tells me it's the first of the month, I'll say, well, that should be like spirituality. That should be like free. We don't live in that world. We live in the world of Caesar. So because Caesar wholly consumes our minds, all of our ideas flow along the line of pleasing Caesar. Pay attention and you'll see it. How many businesses has somebody created? Right? Listen, there's nothing wrong with that because it has to be that way because that is the thought. That is the predominant driving factor. But what if you thought about something else? You see how you can test yourself? Test yourself. I want to contribute, ... I want to. And then you say, what would it feel like to me? What would that be like to me to have somebody say my name and put it in a sentence that says, oh my God, her invention was groundbreaking? Well, that would make you feel fantastic, wouldn't it? But then, because you're thinking along those lines, you get an idea, a quote unquote groundbreaking idea. It always originates in the mind. But what is the mind? Because I know we always say that word and we use it so loosely. It is not your brain. Your brain, even though it is ensconced within your skull, you still see it. It's there. It's material. Einstein's is sitting in a formaldehyde bath, I suppose. So we all know what the brain is. It's a physical thing. But what powers the brain? That is what you are. That is what you are. So you see, you are not limited to the fact that I'm only human. You're not limited to that. You are super. You are, because I mean, those are the only words we can find anyway. You are phenomenal. Those are paltry words. It's like trying to fit consciousness into a Coke bottle. You're always going to fall short of that. You see, we are far greater than we think we are. But because we think and believe that we are, grasshoppers, well, then we think and behave along the lines of grasshoppers. We're not. But if you think yourself to be a giant, well, now you do things that giants would do. If you think yourself to be, I am God, I wonder what that would do. I wonder. So do you understand how you test yourselves now? Step 1, you know what you want to do. Don't say, I don't know. Maybe. You do know. A very good friend of mine, I miss her. Oh, she's still alive, but we don't live in the same city anymore. But she always said to me, we always know what we want. And she was right. We always know what we want. It's just a matter of, do you believe that you can have it? We call it magic. But it is not magic, nor is it science. It is the pattern of creation. Period. Allegedly, that's what the young people are saying these days. But if you know what you want, what's that song from Sister Act? If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Isn't that what they said? Pay attention to what? What you want to be. What you want to be. Hamlet said it. To be or not to be? That is the question. That's what he said. Do we even grasp what that means? To be or not to be. Well, you can't not be. You are eternal, so you always will be. So, my beautiful friends, what do you want to be? The question is never going to be, do you think you're good enough to be a? That has nothing to do with it. You are an artiste, and you are chiseling your life from the most pristine marble there is. And you have two tools, a chisel and a mallet. That's all you got. And you know as well as I know that the great artists that have come before us show you exactly what can be done with those two tools. Well, there's three: the marble, the chisel, the mallet. But what is the greatest of all these tools? Because you could have the marble, you could have the chisel, you could have the mallet, but what will guide you to use those three things? Just imagination. Just the imagination? Do you know how potent the imagination is? It is boundless. So this is what you're testing yourself. You're testing yourself to see how imaginative can I be? But you know, nobody's doing it, so it can't be cool. All it takes is one to do it. How do you think Prince became so much of a genius? Not just because he was locked in the basement and he learned to play all the instruments, but he used his imagination. He became the music. And we marvel at his skill. We only marvel on what was on the outside. His skill is what we saw. But what did we not see? What powered him? And the same thing that powers him is the same thing that powers all of us. Don't think that one of us is more special than the other. No. There's nothing special or greater than God itself. We learned that last night in the lecture. Let me tell you, that lecture hit me, bullseye. You want to compare yourself? Well, you compare yourself to who? You're all the same. Unique in your expression, but the same. The same what? Same breath of God that flows through each and every one of us. So this is why you and I are encouraged to do what? Love our neighbor as ourselves. You don't love your neighbor as you love yourself. No. Because if you don't like you ain't gonna like your neighbor either. Trust me. But if you love your neighbor as yourself, well, then there's only you. And the neighbor is a reflection of, oh, you. So if that's how you want to test yourself to make sure that you're not going to, trust me, I know, because I'm there right now. And when I got to go to work. And I know Taipei is going to be there. And I have to remind myself that Taipei and me are the same. Type A and me are the same. We're God. So now when I look at Type A, I got to see Type A different. I got to see Type A different. Because if I see Type A the way man sees Type A, I just might wrap that extension cord on the phone. But wait, you know what I'm saying. Yikes. You see? We do it all day, every day. We judge one another and think that we're not judging ourselves. So test yourself. What can you do to change? You find yourself arguing all the time? Test yourself. You want to not argue anymore? You don't have to throw your dog into every fight. You don't. So test yourself. What are you capable of? Not everybody has to catch these hands. No. So you test yourself to see what you are capable of, to see that you can make a 180-degree change in your life. And it's not just with money in the bank, relationships, cars and boats and gold toilets. It's not always about that. It's about the creature comforts, the little things, nice neighbors. Hmm? A neighbor who will bring you over a loaf of bread, a stick of butter. Yes, catching all the sales, getting things for free. It's just the little things. So test yourself to see what you're capable of. And that's why it is a fun process. Well, good times, it's a good time to be had by all. Because you get to see what you're capable of doing. Like for real, for real. But we take things so seriously. You trying to tell me God doesn't have a sense of humor? Anybody who can make mosquitoes has to have a sense of humor. But they also made the hummingbird, and the dragonfly, and the eagle. Caw-caw, but I digress. But he also made the turkey and the ostrich, and you're like, you were having an off day, weren't you? But that's the point. Be creative. Be creative in your imagination. And when you land upon the thing that moves you the most, you will take it from invisible to visible. And you don't have to worry about how, because it is the seed that is planted that will bear fruit after its own kind. So the thought seed that you have, the mood, the attitude that you have will tell you the fruit you will bear. So you see, life is meant to be carefree, worry-free when you apply the pattern. There are no surprises. I'm grateful for that because men are like surprises. No. Anyway, let's welcome everybody into the space today and then get the bowl, shall we? Hey, Saps. It's symmetric. I see you guys here on Twitter. I don't know. Nobody told him X is a thing of the past, but But I digress. But it's good to see you all here on Twitter. So we can be like little birds. 3 little birds beside my doorstep, right? Singing sweet songs. Anyway, who's here on YouTube and Facebook? Well, they haven't made themselves known in the chat, but I see you. I see your numbers. Welcome to the space anyway. You know I love seeing you. Fan base, who's kicking it with us? Happy is in the house, Miss McQueen. Reacher, Hey Moon, and Dolphin Duck. Big Mike, Lenisha. Flo smiles. Oh, well, if it is not the Oracle Treehouse. You know we missed you. Sure did. Afternoon delight. Ow. Listen, thank you all for being here on this glorious, glorious Tuesday. So this morning when you hear the bowl, what do you want to test yourself with? You want to test yourself with getting somewhere on time all the time? Yeah, you want to test yourself with that? Oh. Listen, it is in the little things. It is the little things. Of course. What is that saying? A journey of a 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It is a little step, a little pebble. It's always in the little things. So you start with the little thing that annoys you the most. You want to get somewhere on time? Well, then you say, you know what? I'm going to test myself. I want to get everywhere 15 minutes early. Now, I used to say, because this was me, I used to say, I'm not starting work early. I'm starting work at 7. Well, somebody enjoys her job so much. I get there at 22. Oh, I thought to myself, oh my God, you've become one of them. But nah, it's the love of something that will make you do it. It will compel you to do it. And you won't complain about it at all. Trust me, you won't. Right? So find that little thing. Just start little because that's what we always do. We start little. It's a little seed. Like a mustard seed, teeny, teeny, tiny, isn't it? So we start small. Just one thing. And when you start accomplishing that one thing that you set out to do, You say what? Oh, I did it. Oh, I did it. And then what do you say? Well, let me try something else. Let me try something a little bigger. Mhm. Because the thing that you started off with small, you continue to do it and you build momentum. Or as what's his face used to say, he's a comedian. He says, you build momentum. I love him. He's the same one that says, why you always in the kitchen eating all the fried chicken? Him. But I digress. You start with a little and you accomplish it and you build until such time you look back at yourself and you say, well, hot dog, look at what I accomplished. And you think somebody can come along and tell you, you can't do that. No, you will know that you can. But who did you have to prove it to? Not your mama. You had to prove it to you. Anyway, let me get the bowl. Let me get the bowl, y'all. Let me put that there. I ain't got no space. Got these flowers. Yeah, Delight was talking about flowers, and then next thing you know, I came home with flowers. Don't you know how it is? Let's get the bowl, y'all. Let's get the bowl. I'm gonna make sure my volume is all the way up. I'm all the way up. Sorry. countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. Eh. Hey, Chaos. I see you. Yes. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here and spending your crack of dawn time with me. Um, Tonight's lecture, it has to do with imagination. I'll tell you that, but I just don't remember. Because it was Jacob's ladder last night. Listen, if you missed it, you better catch the replay because it was fire. It was fire, that lecture last night. And I'm not just saying that because I was reading it. I'm saying because as I was reading it, it was like, oh my word, it just hits you, you know? So catch that replay. And yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base. I'm coming. Hold on. I'll spend the next 5 minutes with y'all this morning. And enjoy the beautiful day. Because I know I'll be testing myself today. Mm. I know I will test myself today. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Stewie, I digress. Anyhow, enjoy the beauty that is. Much love to each and every one of you. Bye, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Bye, YouTube and Facebook.